Welcome to What is Going On in the UC. Today we're going to talk about Christianity. Now, Christianity is a growth stage religion. As we know, the Providence of Restoration deals with two stages: foundation of faith and foundation of substance, Old Testament and New Testament, or formation stage and growth stage. So, at the top of the growth stage, being at the top of the growth stage is the same as saying I'm a really good Christian, or saying I'm a really New Testament kind of guy. We know kind of what Old Testament is. It's justification based on deeds, eye for an eye. When you say you're going to do something with God, you better do it or else bad things happen, right? It's justification based on deeds, right? But the New Testament is different. Now, some people throughout history have carried out New Testament providence as if it was Old Testament. In other words, the prescriptions of New Testament were handled as if they were Old Testament rules and regulations. That doesn't work. We can't have an Old Testament attitude towards the New Testament, but a lot of people do. A lot of people are very orthodox in the way that they approach the New Testament. So what is the New Testament like, really? Like, for real, for real? What is it? Here is the Cliff Notes, the cheat sheet version of Christianity. Christianity is about restoring the dignity of human beings. It is about restoring absolute respect for human beings. That also includes removal of fallen nature. To restore absolute respect in human beings is to have the fallen nature removed. Now, this is really where we begin. Because the problem is, the fallen nature throughout history has led us to disbelieve in our fellow man. Ultimately, God could not send a Messiah who has the true lineage that we could graft on without the New Testament message. Why? Because the Messiah comes with such otherworldly content. You know, if we don't have absolute respect in place, that is to say, if we're not at the top of the growth stage, we're likely to crucify him or ignore him, or something bad is going to happen in our relationship with that Messiah guy. But if we have in place absolute respect for human beings, and we feel that God works through human beings, that human beings are the vessel of God, then even when we meet a weird human being, we're prepared to seek the God in that person. Can you imagine if John the Baptist was really intent on seeking the God in Jesus? Maybe he wouldn't have got beheaded. Can you imagine if Baekmun Kim was really trying to seek the God in Father, regardless of the fact that Father was a younger man than him, right? We have so many reasons to disqualify people. The way we disqualify people runs counter to original nature. It runs counter to the way God sees each human being. It runs counter to mature Christianity. A mature Christian attitude is to seek what God might be doing in your fellow man. Is to reserve ultimate judgment or condemnation or dismissiveness about human beings because of the fact that God is in there somewhere. Now, when you think about all the stuff that even goes on in our movement, you have to ask yourself, do we have a New Testament attitude towards one another? Now, the reason why I'm saying this is, if you have another tribal Messiah and you don't really understand what they're into and they're trying to reach out to their tribe, do we really lend a helping hand? In other words, do we really feel as though our fellow church member has God working behind them? Or are we constantly looking for approval from some so-called church leader to give us permission and reason to respect one another? You got to think about that. Sometimes as brothers and sisters in the church, we see each other do things that we don't understand. Does that mean we have to disengage? Does that mean there's no reason to support that other brother or sister? Does it? No, because a Christian attitude is you can love someone and have forbearance towards someone and even support someone to whatever degree you like, and all of your offering to that person is just another way of offering to God. As a Christian, you should know that God can work through people, because that's the absolute way of viewing people. People are a vessel of God even when they don't realize that that's what they are. But as a true Christian, you should. And we can't even really talk about completed testament attitudes if we don't even have a Christian foundation. So what am I really saying, brothers and sisters? Be good. We should be good to each other. And you know what? We don't have to have full agreement in order to help one another. It's just not an absolute necessity. All we need is absolute respect. Anyway, talk to you later.